Hello, hello, hello. It is Dubs only. I'm Tyler. What's up, Josh? It is good to be back.
It is about a week hiatus.
We love the hiatuses here on Dubs only, but you know what? We're getting on to the nitty gritty scheduling here. It's Monday night. That's our night, at least for a couple of weeks. We'll see where it goes from there. But the the summer league action is it's really hitting the spot right now.
Oh yeah, I mean California Classic is great. They go what 0-4 in the post Mike Brown era,
Yeah,
but
oh yeah.
in the James Wiseman era, the Warriors are 1-0.
Well, yeah. The first game James Wiseman has played in nearly as much time as Klay Thompson missed
Yeah, I
is
think they said April of 2020.
sounds about right. No, not 2021.
2021. Is it
Yeah.
was it really only 20? Okay.
I mean he played last season. He was drafted in 2020. Yeah. Yeah. First play of the game yesterday was a lob from Kaminga to Wiseman.
What you want to see right there.
That's exactly what we've been dreaming about as Warriors fans for years. Wiseman looked better. He was on the court, which is a big win. He was moving solid defensively, helped defense, got a couple of blocks. I mean,
Still
there's
had
still
like
a ways to go. Foul trouble
still
is
had
his.
7 fouls.
Yeah.
Summer league you get 10, so I guess it's okay. But in only I think less than 20 minutes of action,
Yeah.
that's
Obviously,
tough.
something to look out for. And that's against summer league competition. You know, we have to keep our expectations tempered because he's practically a rookie still.
He's played less than 50 games in the NBA.
Yeah. You trust
So
Kuminga and you trust Moody on the NBA court during the regular season, during the playoffs, more than you can trust Wiseman right now. But the organization, obviously, James Wiseman is the face of the rebuild.
yes, 100%. He has the potential to be a Joel Embiid. Like if like that's a very far comp. I know, but I mean honestly, Embiid hasn't accomplished really that much. He's not an MVP. He's a couple-time All-Star. Hasn't gotten out of the second round. But it's the skill. It's the stretch five. Can shoot from all angles, everywhere on the court. I think you'll see Wiseman really develop defensively this year. Just blocks, staying grounded, as a 7 footer, you don't need to jump all the time. Just put your arms up and stay straight.
You know who can teach him that?
Kevon Looney.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevon Looney went to the Jim Barnett School of Patience.
And the Warriors have it was a sneaky acquisition at the beginning of last year. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's the coach who coached Jokic and trained Jokic in Denver.
Right.
And he's really helped with Looney. And obviously, since Wiseman hasn't been on the court a lot, but he's still in the film room, he's still studying the game. You know, he's not just away completely from basketball. So the mental aspect there is also huge. But he was super efficient in his minutes and shooting offensively.
Yeah. 5 for
And
7, knocked down a 3, knocked down a fadeaway, a dunk.
The ball wasn't coming to him a whole lot, which I think as Warriors fans, we all wanted to see a lot more. I think we wanted to see the ball in his hands a lot at the top of the key, running some action, not just doing screen and rolls. But you work him in. And the plan is to play Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman on Tuesday. So I think you'll see that young core all work together and probably go a little bit deeper into their bag in terms of plays and how to utilize each other.
Totally. That's exciting. We have summer league leading scorer Moses Moody returning to the lineup. He put up 34 in the first game. It's awesome to see these guys get out and start balling. Jonathan Kuminga had a rough first game. What was it? Talked about how he had several days of travel back from the Congo to play, but covers it
Obviously,
back up with the game winning free throw. Sorry, 25 points. Solid game with James Wiseman back in the lineup. Summer League squad for the Warriors, I'd say, is one of the most exciting that we've had ever. Really? I mean, how does it get better than this? Coming off of a
you
championship, let's not forget that the Warriors just won the fucking championship. And this is the squad that they roll out. And you have some guys on there. You throw in Mac McClung,
who
the what was he, G League Rookie of the Year?
G League Rookie of the Year. He played 1 year at Georgetown and then the next at Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I remember watching his high school mixtapes.
Oh, he's one of those guys. Yeah,
He's one of those guys, and you can see it on the court. He plays with a lot of flair and energy. He can really get anything he wants for the most part. Do If the Warriors didn't sign Lester to that two-way contract, I think he might have had a better shot to get that spot, that 15th
sure.
spot.
This is one game still. It's still one game. Like, let's not like overestimate it. This guy's bounced around quite a bit. He hasn't proven himself to be somebody who can really contribute in the NBA as much as we'd like him to. Having
He's had
somebody like
one
that in the
year.
Warrior system is really nice, though.
He's had 1 year as a pro, went to the G League because he signed with the Lakers,
Mm-hmm.
undrafted last year. But I mean, you go from G League Rookie of the Year for an entire season pretty much, and then you put up 17 in the first game, and then it was 20 in the second game.
2022. I think he's
And
somebody the
it's,
Warriors should really consider inviting to training camp.
yeah,
Just to, hey, albeit still plenty of games left in the summer league. We still got the tournament to go. There's a lot left to prove for these guys. But the Warriors have suddenly, if you looked at if you didn't know what team you were dealing with and you saw, okay, we have a second overall pick, a seventh overall pick, a 14th overall pick, a G League Rookie of the Year on this team. You also have guys on two ways like Quindary Weatherspoon, who's also been playing really solid. I'm a big fan of QW. And, on paper, it looks like, oh, this team has a bright future. They're probably rebuilding. Let's see how well these guys can develop. The Warriors are lucky that these guys would be coming off the bench. They have veterans ahead of them who can teach them some more. Training camp's going to be interesting, but I've loved seeing the Warriors come out to Vegas, be there. Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, Bob Myers, all the likes. It's great. Steph Curry was at the California Classic. Now he's golfing.
I think the only thing that would make this summer league better is to just get a little bit of PBJ, just a little bit, just to see what we got in him. I know he's still recovering. I know we also don't get Ryan Rollins, so the only pick we get to see from this year is Guy Santos, who doesn't look too bad. I don't think he'll make the roster at all this year. Go back to Brazil, keep working on the game, come back next year, try again. But I would love to see some PBJ and just see some of that raw potential. I think that's the only real negative about the summer league, is that we probably won't get to see him at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's what kind of comes with picking up somebody who's been going through injuries like he has, but that's where the Warriors are lucky. They don't need somebody like PBJ to come in and say, hey, we want to get you developed as soon as we can. The Warriors can afford the luxury of saying, hey, take your time. Let's rehab you the right way. Let's put you into the role that you need to be in. And we saw a lot of that with Kuminga and Moody last year. And it's hard to say how much somebody like Moses Moody can be in the rotation next year, because he's a totally skilled player. He fits in with the Warriors mold. He's smart. He knows the system. He doesn't have the flashes of brilliance at the par of somebody like James Wiseman or Jonathan Kuminga, where their ceiling might be higher, but the floor for Moses Moody, I'd say, is pretty solid, pretty high.
No matter if he doesn't reach his full potential, he is still a lethal 3-and-D player. Like as he grows, as he understands assignments more, is able to read defenses better, and he's in the perfect place to learn from that with Andre, Draymond,
Where
and
is Andre?
really all the Warriors veterans. You know, he has a lot to learn still, but he definitely has the highest floor out of any of these Warriors prospects. Um, and I think he gets a big shot. I think he's in the rotation. I think he probably plays at least 15 minutes every game, at
Totally.
least, because he all you need him to do in the Warrior system is be 3-and-D. You don't need him to really go beyond that. And with Damian Lee going out, Andre probably not coming back in like a playing role if he comes back at all. Um, I see him as like that Udonis Haslam if he does come
We've
back,
been
where he
saying
literally
that.
maybe gets like
Yeah.
five minutes the entire regular season. But all the Warrior Gary Payton leaving, his only competition is DiVincenzo. It's his only competition.
And you got to expect DiVincenzo to get those solid minutes. Signing in as an unrestricted free agent, he got off the phone calls with Steph, Draymond. DiVincenzo is a rotation player. There's no doubt about it. So how many minutes can somebody like Moody swing? And I think somewhere in the 10 to 12 range would be solid. I mean, there'll be games when he's not in it at all. There'll be games when he's playing more. Like the game against the Spurs this year where Steph and Draymond and Clay were all out and they won it at the very end. Like Jordan Poole hit that 3 in the corner. Games like that. I'm sure there will be more of those next season because the Warriors know that they can be at this level of championship pedigree. I don't expect the Warriors to go full throttle through the regular season. But I think what we really need to focus on right now, we talked about Moody, but Wiseman's the star of the show right now. Wiseman comes back. He plays great. Well, great for what we've seen from him. It's been inconsistent. Where do you see James Wiseman fitting into the rotation next year? If he keeps this up, because who knows if his knee swells up again tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that was a good thing that came out of today, is that nothing came out about his knee, at least nothing that I saw.
Little victories every day.
Little victories, right? Every day is a grind, but we'll see what happens when he plays a couple games, because his knee swelled after a couple games with Santa Cruz, right? So it was a couple days of action that really made that knee swell up. So I think I'm holding my breath until after Tuesday. But I see him getting 15 at least a game with the way that Looney starts. There's no replacing Looney. No matter how good he plays, the Warriors will keep Looney as their starter until it's absolutely necessary to play Wiseman first. So I think it will depend a lot on the flow of the game and the matchups. I think he's sort of that matchup center where they're going to play small a lot, but they're going to have to get him in and get him developed. So it's going to be purely matchup based. If they're playing big, they'll play him a lot more.
It reminds me of, not in the exact same way, obviously, but Zaza Pachulia was the starting center for a few seasons there, right? We all love Zaza. We love watching him clank layups every other game. But then they had JaVale McGee coming off the bench. If they wanted to go big, they put in JaVale, throw up some lobs. I miss him. I miss having somebody like JaVale on this team. I see James Wiseman fitting in a similar role. Of course, there's a lot of upside there, but the Warriors can't focus too much on the upside. They need to focus on how can somebody with his skill set and his size and his frame impact winning and the flow of the games right now. Somebody who can get above the rim in a way that Kevon Looney can't. Him and Kevon are two very different players. You can't get two more different players out of the center position. So Wiseman's going to be that backup center. I think he'll probably get closer to like 18 or 20 minutes a game because just that front office and the coaching staff has been so eager to get him out there. He's the face of the rebuild, like we mentioned before. It's just how well can he hold up? Will he be a factor on the defensive end? Will he know where to set screens or cut to on offense? Those little intangible things that come with experience that he just hasn't had yet. That's the
I
biggest
think
test
you'll
for him. And it's nice to see him get that experience in the summer league finally. Third summer since he got drafted, first summer league action. Huge. So
I
I
think
want to see a lot
you'll
more of him in the next several weeks.
I think you'll see a really cautious approach though. I don't think he'll play on back to backs. Like they're gonna be very careful with his load because they want him to play the entire season and be ready for the playoffs. You're not going to get an Iron Man, Kevon Looney type season from Wiseman. I think he'll probably play in 55 to 60 of the 80 games. That would be my guess.
We'll see. I mean, that's
I would.
how like how much do you really have to restrict somebody who's what 22, right? It's just the Warriors will be cautious. Of course they will. They have a history of it. People like Clay coming back, totally different scenario, but they were not taking any risks with that. And they want to play the safe approach with James Wiseman too. Because if he gets another injury, another serious one, that's when you can really start seeing okay, maybe James Wiseman is a quote unquote bust because he's been injured or hasn't been able to stay on the court for 3 seasons. You don't want that. You want him to contribute, want him to stay healthy. And if that means no back-to-backs, are there back-to-backs in the summer league?
I don't think so. I think they have rest. I don't know when they do the playoffs, when they do their like summer league bracket.
Summer league back-to-back, so what? But that's because he's one of the better guys on the team. Ideally, he'd be getting those like 25 minutes in the summer league. He got 19 yesterday, something like that. So how are we feeling overall? Do we think that James Wiseman can be a solid contributor for this team next year? Or is that still a reach?
I don't think it's a reach. Because I think if he stays healthy, his knee doesn't give up on him, he plays consistently. And they're just a little bit more cautious, minute restrictions, no back-to-backs, and he plays a fair amount of games. And some days it's going to be Kevon, some days it's going to be Wiseman, some days it's going to be none of them. They'll have to play small. So I don't expect him to be a rookie of the year type player. I don't expect him to win comeback player of the year, most improved, or anything like that. But I expect to see consistent growth and improvement in staying healthy throughout the season.
I think, that's what we all hope for. We want him to be somebody who can make an impact in these games, however that may be. It's just about like staying out of foul trouble and like showing that you can make an impact on the defensive end. If you're not a liability, then you can go out and get your minutes. The Warriors don't want to sign a third center. They don't want that other big man on the team. They want Wiseman's minutes. But I guess it's a natural segue, but I think that the season that the Warriors can expect and would like to see from Wiseman is somewhere that he performs kind of like how Kuminga performed last year. They're different positions. They play different styles of basketball, but to their abilities, they'll both be raw. They'll both show flashes of brilliance and be like, damn, like this kid's going to be really good someday. Kuminga got some minutes in the playoffs. Yeah, he looked shaky in them, but he proved that he can make an impact defensively and do what he does best, is be athletic and run the floor. If James can do that in his own way without pressuring himself too much to when he gets a block to start dribbling out and take it 1 versus 4, he loves that. He pulled it off against the Pistons in his rookie year, but probably because it was the Pistons. So that's where it takes me to Kuminga. Kuminga played solid yesterday. He's somebody the Warriors will probably lean on for close to 20 minutes a game next season. He's shown flashes of being a star in this league. One of the most athletic players the Warriors have had in a long time. What do you need to see from Jonathan Kuminga to convince you that this guy, A, belongs, and B, just can be somebody the Warriors can depend on in big games or in big moments? Like, what does he need to prove this coming season?
Consistency and composure.
The big C's.
It's he puts up 28, but he goes 7 from 18 from the line. He if he makes all of those, that's 11 more points, right? That's a little ridiculous. Not everybody can make 18 free throws. Just, I mean, call me Kendrick Perkins. Moses Moody almost did that. I think he did that in his 34-point outbreak. But it's the composure and not forcing it, letting the game come to him more, and just being consistent and not turning the ball over, not forcing things, playing smart basketball, and just tightening everything up. He's brilliant in moments, but you got to bottle some of that. You got to keep your composure. You got to make sure that you can have that continued brilliance and not just have small little flashes of it.
Sorry, Josh. Yeah, like Jonathan Kuminga, he knows what he's good at. He's one of the most confident guys out there with the ball. You'll see it every time, right?
He wants to hit that spin move every time. Every time he drives, he wants to spin. I want to see more hustle out of him too. I want to see more grit.
Like diving on the floor.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Use your body. Be like, throw it around. Like, get active and be aggressive in, full force.
Exactly. I mean, I think there will be games when we see him having shooting nights like we did that first summer league game where he just like couldn't do a thing. But there'll also be games like yesterday where he's making his impact. Games like the one against the Mavs like mid-season last year where he had those 2 dunks at the end. 20-point games, maybe some more of that. He's one of the more exciting prospects the Warriors have had. Moody, you see the consistency. Wiseman, you see the upside. Jonathan Kuminga is like a little bit of blend between the both of them, because not only is he really exciting with his athletic ability, but he on the defensive side too. He has the ability to shut down people and just use his length to just change shots and stuff. Maybe he'll go to the James Wiseman School of Shot Blocking, for all I know. But there's a lot to look forward to with him. And these guys are young. What has he even turned 20 yet? Is he still 19?
I think he's 20.
I know Moody just had a birthday, but man, these guys are young.
They're younger than
so much
us,
time
which
for them to
hurts.
blossom. Right.
I think one other thing, I don't know if this is the way you feel, but I do not want to see Kuminga shooting 7 threes a game.
Oh God, no.
He went 1 for 7. Like, that's not efficient. If you want to be a contributor to this team in the regular season and in the postseason, and you want to define your role for this team and in the future, know what you're good at, drive and kick.
By no means am I comparing Jonathan Kuminga to him, not even close, but Kawhi Leonard made his impact first with his ability to attack the basket and defend the ball. Then eventually he built up a really strong mid-range game and a consistent 3-point shot. Some sort of development like that would fit Kuminga pretty well, I would say. But overall, from a grand scheme of things view, Warriors have a lot to be excited about. Not only did you win the championship, which, just a little chip on the shoulder of the we can do both, but these young guys are excited to contribute. We saw what Jordan Poole can do in his 3rd season. There's a lot to be decided on what these young guys can do. And then throw in PBJ, Gui Santos, Lester Quinones. The Warriors bench is going to be unique. That's something that you and I will have to dive more into. But overall, hey, not a bad spot to be in, huh?
No. I was looking up comparisons for Kuminga when he was in the draft,
Yeah.
and they're sort of funny. It's the one I see a lot is a bigger Jaylen Brown.
Mm.
I see Sean Marion with more bulk, and Dominique Wilkins.
Damn. Dominique
I
Wilkins. That is an interesting one.
That's which I haven't watched a ton of Dominique, so I really can't
Dunk
make that
contest.
comparison. The Sean Marion one is weird because Sean Marion was a good 3-point shooter, like a very good 3-point shooter.
Right.
Played on those Sun teams with Nash and Stoudemire, Dallas with Dirk,
Cleveland with LeBron
Cleveland with LeBron.
in like 2015.
Um,
Post prime Sean. There's a lot. There's a lot you can compare Jonathan Kuminga to, but I think overall, for Dubs only tonight, Summer League is in full swing. There's so much more to be seen, and that's why we're excited for another episode on Friday night. So we said Friday night.
I believe so. Yes.
There's a lot to go. Moses, show us the way. He's shown our people the way before, and he will again. Moses Moody, lead us to the promised land. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Moses Moody, you are our savior.
Moses Moody, you are our savior. Lead Kuminga, Rag, and Wiseman with us to the land of milk and honey again next season. All right. Peace out.
Peace.